into the fourth dimension.
Hello and welcome back to another Triumph over Lockdown. We're working together, we're building a community, and we're learning skills and getting experience by practice on how to deal with all the distress that sometimes we go through. Sometimes we have a lot of heartache, sometimes we have emotional regulation issues. Whatever it is, it's all human, it's all okay, and it's all natural. The thing is that we need to learn how to respond to it. We need to learn how to deal with it, manage with it, and get through our daily day work and get to the vision, get to along the path that we want to pick for ourselves. And that's really important. And yesterday we discussed the planning of the work of our life, the work on how to vision it, what to deal with, how to put our plan together. And we spoke yesterday about how things are created twice, right? First of all, created in a person's imagination, using all the skills of planning, and then they are materialized. They're created the second time and materialized. So today's show is about the materialization. It's about actually working the plan of our life. It's not just about planning. If you sit down and you meditate all day and you do affirmations all day and you feel good all day, but you don't actually do anything with your life, well, then that's a pointless existence. We don't need to eat and work to live. We need to live. Right? We need to eat and work to live. We don't live to eat and work. That's what I wanted to say, right? That's really important, because if our life ends up just being eating and working, right, and nothing much in between, well, then that's not any much a life of meaning and purpose. But if we work and eat in order to have a life, right, that is going to be a life of purpose and value. So how do we do that? And that's what I want to get to before we get into the breathing and the meditation. I just want to kind of link the work to the planning. And first of all, we need to have the work has to reflect the values that we have in life. The work has to reflect what's important to us. The work has to be relevant, has to materialize that spiritualness within us. If we want to be fulfilled and have a higher quality life, the actions that we do, the work that we do, the way we behave in the world needs to reflect how we want to be as a person. And we can do this in a number of ways. And, we talk about SMART goals and how we want to, express the way that we want to live. And one of the ways that we need to do it is we need to be specific in what we want in life. It's not about, I want to be a good person, right? Well, excuse me, what does that mean? I want to be a good person. Let's take that box that says good person on it. Let's open it up and see exactly what that means for you. I want to be a loving partner, right? That sounds good. That's just the name of the box. Let's open the box and take out the specific details of what that means for you to be a loving partner or a good parent or a contributing neighbor. These are the names of the boxes. Let's open these boxes and write down exactly what the specifics are that will make you live in that particular way. And that's really important. It's important for me, as an example, to contribute to, my fellow people, my society, right? My specifics are, I'm going to do a Triumph over lockdown workshop meditation sessions every day at 1 p.m. That's being specific, right? So what I'd like you to do is to start writing down specifically what these milestone goals are, what these water buoys are as you sail towards your horizon, as you find the direction that you want to go. We need to lay down these milestones to keep us in the right direction. Otherwise, we'll be going all over the place, right? So what I'd like you to do is to start laying out for yourself. It doesn't mean you can't change them on the way, right? It doesn't mean that I won't change the time of this show. It might mean that I'll add things to this show. It might mean that I'll have this show and another one, right? That will all be in my direction of contributing to society. The goals are 1 o'clock show, maybe a 4 o'clock show, maybe another live. You tell me if that's what you wanted, right? I collect information and I make it more specific. What I want you to do is to start writing down your specific goals. And remember, the objective is not the achievement of the goals. Don't get this wrong. The objective is to move in that direction and live according to the way that you want to live. Because even just trying to achieve these goals, you will be living in the way that you want to live. That's it. That's the eating and drinking in order to live the life of meaning and purpose. It's not the collecting the flags, when you meet the goals. The goal for me is not the objective for me is not just to have a show done at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Boom, tick, that's been done. No, it's the preparation for it. It's the doing it. It's the talking to you. That's the objective. It doesn't matter to me if there's one person on here or there's 1,000 people on here, right? Or even no people on here. My objective is to get the show done, but that is not my whole aim. My whole aim is to be able to broadcast my wisdom that I've got, my experience, so that you can benefit. And therefore, I'll be living a life of purpose and value. That's really important. That is the essence of living a life of meaning and value. Not just picking up, ticks and flags because you've actually met a goal. There's no point in getting a university degree. That's a tick. That's a flag. If you're not going to use it for anything, right? There's no point in learning a skill if you're just going to sit there and say, oh yeah, I know it. You have to get out there. You have to have action. You have to actually use what you want to use. It's really important also that we adapt what we know, that we adapt our wisdom for the environment that we want to live in, right? It's no point in doing something that's not going to improve our life. But the whole idea here is to raise the standard of our life to a higher value. So we've got to say, are the actions that I'm doing, is my behavior actually contributing to me having a higher quality life? Right? I mean, these are, you've got to write these down, then you can actually do them. What am I doing today that's going to improve my life? It just has to be a little thing. It doesn't have to be big, massive things. You don't all have to go and do Facebook live shows. It can be little tiny things, a word, a phone call, a text to somebody. Another really important thing when we're laying down these water buoys, when we're putting down these milestones, is that we have realistic goals, right? So if you really do want to become a doctor on an emergency COVID ward, then you're going to have to really think, is this realistic? I'm going to go to medical school, I'm going to get my degrees, I'm going to go and do my, placements and so on and so forth. That might be great. And a certain amount of years' time, boom, you've got it. All right. But if it's something you want to do next week and you've not been to university yet, well, then that's not a realistic goal. Okay. But it doesn't mean that you can do something in that common direction. So you can go and volunteer for the NHS. Right? You can go and help out your neighbours. collect shopping for them during this terrible pandemic. There are ways of living out your values in many, many different ways. It doesn't have to just be one particular goal. There are many goals that will be in the direction of that horizon that you want to live in. And that's really, really important to remember. If one path is not available to you in that general direction, there are many, many, many other paths that are important to you. Another thing important is that you have to have your water boys timed out, right? There's no point in putting a water boy down that's going to be relevant in 2 years' time. Right, that's your first one, right? Because, oh my goodness, that's a long way off. Let's start putting down water boys, milestones in the direction that you want to sail in, the direction that you want to go in. What are you going to do today, right? Let's talk about now. It's not all about the future. You might have a vision of the direction that you're going in, that's right, but let's fulfill little baby steps today. Let's do something right now. Right now, after this show, as soon as this show is over, you go and you do something, right? You want to be nice to somebody, send them a WhatsApp. You send them a telephone call. You know what? Get onto Amazon, send them a bunch of flowers. It doesn't matter. Just do some baby step to fulfill the way that you want to live. That's what working the plan is. Right? You plan, you got all these ideas, you got all these affirmations, you got all the meditations, you got all the breathing, you got all this stuff done. Let's do something with it. Let's get out there and actually have some material action. That is what's really, really important. Okay, I know you've been waiting on the meditation side. It's really, really important. That's part of the action. Part of the action is to sit for a few minutes every day with me or on your own, right? And do this self-care space for you to get into your heart and into your head and get ready for the action that you actually really want to do. So let's go for it. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the breathing as we normally do. So breathing in. Hold it. Feet on the floor. Breathing out. Very good. We're breathing in. You stick your tummy out. Breathing out. You pull your tummy in. 2 feet firmly on the floor. Breathing in. Hold it. And breathing out. Just let all that go. Let it all go. Breathing in. Hold it. And breathing out. Just let it all go. One more time. Breathing in. Hold it, and out through the mouth. Wonderful, really wonderful. If you can, share this out now. We're going to go into a really good meditation right now. Wonderful one. So please share this out right now. I'll give you a few seconds to get this out there because, really, really going to be nice. We're going to get really deep into this about working the plan, planning the work, working the plan. Come on, let's share this out now. Let's let other people know what you're benefiting from. All right? So here we go. I want you to have 2 feet on the floor if you can. Press them in. If you can do bare feet, do bare feet. If it's too cold or it's not comfortable or it's not possible, just place your feet on the ground, whatever it is. Push them straight into the ground. Sit in a comfortable position. Relaxed but comfortable. Sit in the way that you would if the world was yours. Sit in the way that you would if everything was going your way. Right? You plan the work, the plan, it's all wonderful. Sit in that posture. What would you be like if everything was the way you wanted it in this world? It's not going to be possible, right? We're not going to get everything we want, but sit as if it was, right? Use your imagination. Hands on your lap. Okay? Now in a minute I'm going to ask you to either close your eyes or just lower your head and gaze a point on the floor. Just have a soft gaze. Okay, you ready? Here we go. So please, I invite you to either close your eyes or just give yourself a soft gaze at something on the floor. Feel yourself comfortable in your chair. Sit relaxed, back straight, just the way you would if the world was just the way you wanted it. I invite you to pay attention to your breath. In-breath and the out-breath. Don't breathe in any special way, just your normal way. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your body as you breathe. Just notice the air as it passes through your nose and down into your lungs. And when you exhale, just notice the air leaving your lungs and passing out through your nose. Let's take a few moments. Just continue to breathe and notice. Just feel that sense of your wholeness. Just notice what's happening inside. You may notice all sorts of thoughts coming in. You may notice irritability in your legs or arms. Just notice it. Notice the change of temperature at different parts of your body. You're doing wonderful work. Now I'd like you to imagine in the distance there's a mountain. I'd like you to look at your mountain in your mind's eye. Look at its shape. Look at the bottom, the base, as it seems to grow out of the earth. Notice the slopes, some deep slopes, some shallow slopes. As it reaches higher and higher towards the sky, towards the peak of your mountain. Have a look. Is it a smooth peaks or is it jaggy peaks? Are they green peaks? Maybe they're snowy peaks. It's your mountain. See how beautiful your mountain is, sitting there, unchanging. How beautiful it is from all the different perspectives that you can look at it. From above, from below, from the sides. Each perspective giving a different view of your beautiful mountain. Sit with this mountain and just view it for a few minutes. Breathe. What would it be like to start to climb this mountain? I want to read you some words from Edgar Guest. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure turns about. When he might have won, if he had stuck it out. Don't give up. Though the pace seems slow, you may succeed with another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering. Often the struggler has given up, when you might have captured the victor's cup, and he learned too late, and the night slipped down, how close they were to the golden crown. Success is failure, turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worst that you mustn't quit. You might be feeling at the moment that everything seems so far away. That mountain, the peaks just seem so high. How is it possible that I'd ever climb this mountain? But little steps, by calling on your inner strength, your stability, and your trust in your own wisdom. taking one step at a time as you climb the mountain of your own life. We sometimes have challenging times, especially these days, and we may not be able to choose what happens. What thoughts and feelings and images come up for you right now around the idea that you're going to climb your own mountain of life. And as you go, you will be elevated to heights far beyond what's comfortable for you right now. I ask you to receive whatever's coming to you at this moment with gratitude and appreciation. Just receive it. We can do this together. Help each other up our mountains. You help me up my mountain, I'll help you up yours. And once again, I ask you to bring your attention to your breathing as you inhale and exhale. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your body. Everything working in unison for you. The rhythm of life. And in your own time, you can open your eyes and come back. Wow, how is that? Amazing as we all climb up our own mountains. Okay, so we've got some nice comments coming in. So Vicky Lee is saying, good day. Hi, good day, mate, from down under. Wonderful. And Tanya's in here. Tanya's in the house. Wonderful. Excellent. Really good. Tanya's saying that she helps her sister so she can work with vulnerable people in NHS. That is absolutely fantastic. So really, really love the comments coming in and the interaction. We've got to get this more. The more people that can join in here, the more that we can really help them, the more can we help each other. That's what it's all about. It's really about helping each other. We've all got mountains to climb, right? But these mountains can be beautiful as we go up. We start to see the views, we start to feel the air, we start to breathe in the fresh air. It's not an easy climb. No, mountains aren't. But if we all have our own Sherpas, right, helping us up there, guiding us, motivating us, being there for us, that's what really it can be all about. That's what life is. Life is about helping each other. I'm really, really pleased to say that we got a mention for the Heads Up charity in Parliament. And I'd just like to show you a little bit of that, because I'm really proud of that. So share that out, that would be great. I'm going to make myself some ketones as well in a minute, and we'll be back for part 2 when we can have a little discussion if you want. So here's our local MP giving us a mention for Heads Up in the House of Parliament. See you in a minute.
Christian Wakefoot.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I join with members from across the House in sending my deepest of condolences to each and every one of the individuals who's tragically passed away as a result of COVID. However, during this extremely difficult time, I have nothing but admiration for the army of volunteers working tirelessly in my constituency and across the country. Will the Prime Minister join me in thanking organisations like the Fed, Jewish Volunteering Network, Heads Up and Porch Boxers, along with all those who've done so much to protect the vulnerable and the needy in Prestwich, Radcliffe and Whitefield?
Mr. Speaker, I will indeed join my honourable friend in paying tribute to those volunteers in his constituency. They join a huge constellation of shining points of light across our country. It's been one of the most extraordinary things. One of the consolations, one of the few consolations of this crisis has been the upsurge, Madam Deputy Speaker, there has been in volunteering.
Say you're on a ketogenic diet, say you're taking ketones, right? There's other things involved, like exercise. One of the biggest things we do in exercise is cardio, right? When we diet. A lot of people will just say, well, I'm just dieting. One of my friends just got married, and when he was getting ready for his wedding, he was doing a bunch of cardio. He's like, I just want to lose weight. And I said, are you lifting weights? He said, no, not really. I just want to lose weight. Of course, I saw him just like 2 weeks ago, and what happened? He kind of regained everything. Why? Well, first off, people think that it's very simple. If calories out are greater than calories in, we lose weight, right? It's that simple. I wish it were just that simple, but it's not. The calorie equation is important, but it's not everything. Why? Because when we do cardio or when we diet, we affect muscle and metabolism. And so this is a study where they looked at what happened to metabolism when you lifted weights. Metabolism goes up. When you just do cardio, metabolism goes down. But if you add weights to that, your metabolism goes up. So the point is you can't just rely on cardio. You need to do cardio and weights because muscle is a critical tissue. So the next question is, well, what type of cardio should I do? There's a ton of cardio out there. What's the best if I want to burn fat? And this is a lab that we work with Brian, Chris, and Prove-It to do the research that you guys are seeing, right? So we're in the lab every single day looking at the impact of Prove-It's exogenous ketones on performance, on body composition. What's the lesson that we can take home from this, right? What you want to do is interval training. One way to do it is you can walk and sprint, or you could cycle and sprint, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes of going low intensity, maybe for a minute, and then all out. Another way that you can do it is that you can mimic this Wingate bike. You take your partner, you go on a spin bike, okay? You have no resistance on there. You pedal all out for about 10 seconds. Your partner cranks the resistance up immediately to a weight that's too hard to move without momentum, and you pedal anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds for 4 to 10 reps with 2 minutes rest between reps. In our lab, we found tremendous fat loss and muscle growth. So basically, when you're sprinting all the way out, you're losing the most fat and you're looking more lean.
So welcome back. I've got my ketones. I'm getting ready. I'll be going out for my walk. I do a walk every day, take my ketones beforehand, and I really find that it helps my energy, my sleep, my whole concentration. I thoroughly recommend it. If anybody wants more information, they can contact me. So we're getting a lot of interaction from Louise and Vicky, sending it out, tagging people. It's really important. I just want to thank you for that. And tell me your ideas. What are your vision? What's your plan for the work? And how do you, what specifics do you want to actually do? You can share that with me either now or in the comments. Vicky is talking about, her mountain of the clear air in Swiss mountains. She likes having the guide and helper. Absolutely. I like having my guides and helpers too. And that is what we have to be for each other, guides and helpers. I love that, Vicky. And she's actually in Manchester, so that's wonderful too. So give me your ideas. What is it that you want for your life? What is, what are your struggles? What experiences are you having as you're climbing your own mountains? Not an easy, there's a kind of a fog going around just now with the mountains that we want to climb, isn't there, with this whole pandemic? But that shouldn't stop us. That shouldn't stop us climbing a mountain, even another little baby step, another little baby step. We've got mountains to climb with our relationships. We've got mountains to climb with our business. We've got mountains to climb with our contribution to society. Whatever it is that you want to do, these are all mountains. Making it safe for us, absolutely, Tanya. Making it safe for us in our homes, making it safe for us in our neighborhoods and in our society in general. It's all about nurturing a caring society. That's what we need. We need that more than ever. And the more that we can all do, just a little tiny bit, we don't have to contribute a lot to make this a nurturing society. Just a nice smile to somebody, a hello in the street. It's really important. It's important to understand how to manage all these feelings of anxiety and body sensations and thoughts coming in our head, making us, all sorts of frightening things that our thoughts can tell us. That's what this program is all about. It's about understanding that these things are normal, right? They're not pathological. These things are normal. We just have to learn how to manage these things. We have to learn to let them be, and we have to learn how to let them go. Also, a lot of us are holding on to these things, right? They don't feel that good, but they feel familiar. So we would rather the familiar than, right? So we hold on to our pain a lot because it's familiar. We hold on to our frustration a lot because it's familiar, and we start ruminating and ruminating and ruminating. Let go. Let it be. And as Tanya says, she likes to say hi and to smile to people. And that's what brings happiness into the world. We're all looking for this happiness drug. It's all about just being nice to each other, right? Smile at somebody. Say thank you when you're in the supermarket. Say thank you to the policeman on the corner. Say thank you to the ambulance driver. It's about saying thank you to people. It's about saying thank you to people that you might not even think about saying thank you. When the postman comes, right? He's going out, he's going around, he's putting letters through the post box. Say thank you. Gratitude for other people is really the biggest secret in life. And yeah, Tanya's coming out. Sometimes we get up in that time machine, Tanya, and we go back into the past. And usually it's the dark, grim past. And we start thinking, oh my goodness, maybe I should have did this. Maybe I should have did that. Maybe I shouldn't have said this. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. And what do? We pile it into our time machine as if we're collecting rocks on the moon. We bring it right back to the present moment. We start to feel it in our body, all that sense of guilt and shame. And it starts to give us feelings in our body that are really uncomfortable, and more thoughts start coming in. Oh, how stupid you are, how can you do that? You're a horrible person. Oh, we're so self-critical. And then our emotions start moving around. We start getting on that emotional roller coaster, because that goes along with all our thoughts and all these body sensations. And we start to feel, like maybe palpitations and maybe sweat in our skin, and we're starting to get ourselves all frightened. How did that all begin? Because we jumped up in our time machine and went back and brought these collection of things into the present moment. Okay, so our brain does this, right? Our brain does this. We need to understand that. So when that happens, we need to get into the breathing. We need to say to ourselves, okay, brain, I understand that this is what you do, but, I'm choosing that I'm not going to have this in my life at this moment, so I'm going to let that go. I'm not going to get all worried about it, the fact that my brain's doing it. I'm going to think, what is it that I really want to do with my life? What are the important things I want to do? And we're going to focus on that. We're not going to distract ourselves, and we're not going to run away from it, and we're not going to numb it out, but we're going to concentrate on what we do want to do. And we can start doing that right now in the present moment. Right? What is it about my life that I want it to have purpose and meaning? And we can do little things. And the more that we do to progress in the purpose and meaning that we want, that we choose for our life, the more all that noise starts to die down a little bit and disturbs us less and less. Right? Or sometimes what do? We jump up into that time machine and we go off to the anxious future. We've got the depressive past and the anxious future with that thinking, oh my goodness, what happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? I'm really worried about this. I'm really worried about them. I'm really worried about her. I'm really worried about him. Boom, 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 boom. We've gone into the future. We've picked up a lot of worrying artifacts and we're bringing them right back to the present moment now, and we start to feel them as if they're actually happening. And our body starts to react. Anyone relate with this? We're reacting to something that's not even happened yet, right? And we start to feel it, the palpitations, the sweat, the emotions. We start getting excited. The adrenaline starts going, the cortisol, the stress hormones, the thoughts about, oh my goodness, this is overwhelming. How can I do this? How can I do that? What am I going to do? We sit down, we start curling up into the fetal position. We start getting all the, anxious and frightened and worried. Panic attacks, absolutely, Tanya. This is what we do to ourselves, right? We bring it. So hold on a second. Let's catch ourselves when we find ourselves going up into the time machines, whether we're going back or forward. Let's at least understand that that's what's happening with us. Our brain does this. That's fine. So let's understand that that's what our brain's doing. We can say, brain, thank you, but I don't need to go on the time machine today. How do we stop ourselves going on to the time machine? We do something in the present moment. Something very simple, so we can just use our senses. We can only use our senses in the present moment. So let's have a look around. Seems a bit silly, but this works. Have a look around. Pick out 5 things that I can see. Oh yeah, look. I can see the curtains. I can see the window. I can see the computer. I can see the chair. I can see the radiator. Boom, I'm in the present moment. I'm out of the time machine. What are 2 or 3 things I can smell? Oh, I can smell the flowers over there. I can smell my aftershave. I can smell the coffee. Right, boom, we're in the present moment. We've come out of our time machine. Let's use our ears. What can I hear right now? I'm hearing a car go by. I'm hearing the buzzing of my computer. I'm hearing all sorts of buzzing noises from the light. Boom! Come out of the time machine. I'm in the present moment, right? Then I want to do some of the breathing that we learn here. Hold it and come out. Right? And you know what? I'm right here, right now, in the present moment. Now, when I'm in the present moment, I want to do something, right? So I want to do something that's in line with my values and the way that I want to live my life, in line with the sailing towards that horizon. So it might be that I want to be a good parent. So right at this moment, when I'm in the present moment, I'm going to do something that's going to be really positive for my parents. So I'm going to be present with my kids for 5 minutes. All right? They're playing around. I'm going to move towards them. I'm going to be with them for 5 minutes. Or I'm going to be present with my parents for 5 minutes. I'm going to send them a WhatsApp. I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to think about them. I'm going to send them a present. Or I'm going to do some contribution to my neighborhood. Right? For 5 minutes. I'm not asking you to go and dedicate your whole life now. You're in the present moment. You're out of your time machine. 5 minutes. Right? You're going to do something that's going to be the way that you want to live, the kind of person you want to do. You're going to work towards your higher quality self for the next 5 minutes. Right? Everyone's got 5 minutes. Everyone. Doesn't matter how busy you are, you get 5 minutes. Guarantee, right? And if you've not got 5 minutes right this very second, you've got 5 minutes and half an hour's time. Keep yourself in the present moment, 5 minutes. The more that we do this, the more that our brain is going to switch on and going to help us do it even more. And the less and less and less it's going to take us into that time machine. So as soon as we're triggered in the time machine, we do these present moment exercises, and then we move towards doing something for 5 minutes that's going to contribute to the kind of life that we want. Now, Tanya wants her kids to be proud of her. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. What parent, right? Doesn't want their kids to look at them and say, wow, what a wonderful mother or father, right? The only way we can do that is be present with them. We don't have to do anything. Guarantee you don't have to do anything bombastic or fantastic. Nothing. Apart from just being with them for 5 minutes at a time, right? Kids remember this. It goes into their psyche for the rest of their life. I remember that my mum did this or my father did this. And it's just emotional, intensive things for 5 minutes. Sing a song with them, eat with them, laugh with them. Anything that you can do in the present moment for 5 minutes with your friend, with your children, with your parents, whatever, these are bonds that are emotionally bonded together that are stronger than anything, right? Stronger than gifts, stronger than anything, just a 5 minute experience, right? Singing to them as they're going to bed, taking them a walk around the block and showing them different things, right? If you can, a walk in the park, look at the tree, look at the squirrel, look at the sky. These things children take in, all you need is 5 minutes. So anything else that we can do, let's get this conversation going. Put in your comments. What is it you would like? What is it you want out of life? What do you want to do with your life? We're not living to eat and drink and work. We're eating, drinking, and working in order to live, right? Tanya's saying the reason she's here today is for her kids. Wonderful, all right? So, what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing to have in your life that you want to give to your children. Beautiful. So, Laura, thanks for coming in. That's really great. I appreciate your comments. The more interaction that we can do on this show, the more I'll be able to give you over what people have taught me. I'm not making up anything, right? Understand this. I was luckily enough, I left school with no education. I thought I had a learning disability. I didn't know anything. I thought I was stupid. And I had mentors and people around me, and they pushed me and they pushed me. And I got my university degrees and I got my experience and I worked with people and helped people and did what I needed to do, but only because there were people behind me and helping me along the way, right? So all I want to do is pass this on, right? I'm not making up anything. This is stuff that's scientifically based. It's proven, it's tested. It's the experience that I was luckily enough and privileged enough to have. It was teachers that taught me, that super teachers, right? Find yourself a teacher, a big wisdom. Find yourself a teacher and let me download to you everything that I have. Right? So we need to spread this out. If you like what I'm saying, then spread it out so we can let more people benefit from this, right? So, Leanne, thanks for sharing. Wonderful, beautiful. That just thanks for sharing is so important. Sharing. Do you know the power of sharing? Sharing is the most incredible power. And I don't just mean sharing Facebook lives. Sharing our lives with others. Sharing our bread with others. Sharing the gifts that we've been given in our life with others. That is what creates a nurturing society. That's what creates a nurturing family. That's what creates a nurturing community. Is when we share with them and they share back with us. There's nothing better than that. In the old days, they used to sit round a table and share each other's food, share each other's stories, share each other's experiences. That is the human experience. Unfortunately, today we've lost a lot of that. Right? Yeah, Tanya, sharing is caring. Exactly. And caring is sharing too. Right? Caring is sharing. Sharing is caring. Absolutely. That's how humans are built. We're built to sit in groups. Human beings don't do well on their own. We're built to sit in groups. Now, sometimes the way that the world's built these days, the groups have to be on virtual groups, but they're still groups. Okay? They're not as good as groups when we're in person, right? But when we're under siege of a pandemic at the moment, then we have to do the best that we can. And so I come on here and I want to build a group with you. I want to build interaction with you so that we can care for each other. We can share for each other. And it's all based on knowledge. It's all based on experience. It's all based on spiritualness. It's all based on how to connect with each other. And beautiful Tanya, if you're telling your kids this, your kids are the most amazing kids in the world if they've got a mother that tells them this kind of stuff. Right? The most fortunate kids. We need to be able to transfer to our kids this kind of information. Teach your children the breathing that I'm teaching you. Teach your children, to look for the 5 things. If they're in a tantrum, if your kids are in a tantrum, they get sometimes in a tantrum, sit them down and say, look, pick out me 5 things. 4 things that you can hear, right? 2 things that you can feel on your skin. Boom, they'll come out of their tantrum like that, right? Okay, so well over time today. Thanks so much for joining in. Spread the word. Share this out. Hashtag replay if you're replaying. That's the best I can ask from you, right? Thank you very much for joining in. Appreciate it. That's the end of it for this week. Monday we're back. Take care and love you all. Thank you so much for joining in. Really appreciate it.
Into the 4th dimension.
Disclaimer, this show is not therapy, nor a replacement for therapy. Should you wish to inquire about therapy, counseling, life, or executive coaching, please contact Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman at factcpfa@gmail.com. factcpfa@gmail.com. Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman is a highly experienced psychotherapist, executive business coach, and author of the book, Mind Over Terror. 3 weeks, 2 cities, 1 mission. With over 10,000 hours of experience and academic degrees in government, law, clinical social work, and a postgraduate diploma in psychiatry with distinction, Dov has the background to help you. He's also available for public speaking and corporate training.